Ford Focus is one of the most common cars in the world. The petrol versions are produced by the million. They're relatively cheap, relatively economic, and very reliable. So it's always intriguing when a big company like Ford produces an electric version of a car. The PR surrounding such a venture has to be very carefully managed. Unlike companies who only make electric cars, Ford can't say, this vehicle is much cleaner than petrol or diesel cars, because they make millions of petrol and diesel cars. #AUKS. But due to more and more stringent emissions targets being introduced all over the world, many manufacturers are developing pure electric or plug-in hybrid versions of their cars. Now, Ford have done a great job on the Focus. From an engineering standpoint, it's top-notch. But it's very much more expensive than the petrol version. It's £28,500 for the electric Ford Focus, and that's after the £5,000 government grant, and a mere £13,000 for the base-level petrol version. Yes, the battery makes it more expensive, but I question if that's the only reason for the extra cost. The big bosses at Ford, the guys right at the top, they don't want to bother with all this eco-nonsense. They want to sell petrol and diesel cars as quickly as possible. Make the electric version prohibitively expensive, and they can then go back to the governments around the world and say, there's just no demand for these damn electric cars. I'm hoping I'm wrong, as the engineers who create these cars are very dedicated, and indeed aware of the problems facing us all. So do I, Sabine?
Sabine.
Robert,
yeah.
Hello.
Robert, hey.
Yes.
I liked your,
Christian.
your speech,
Oh, thank
your
you.
presentation.
Thank you.
Acting, actually.
Well, I don't know what to do. Foot on brake, normally.
Foot on the brake, and you can actually throw
You
the
don't need that.
keys
Doesn't
in
need it in there.
That's, we're ready to drive now.
Drive within budget and to add butterflies. I like that. You get more butterflies if you drive carefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
You do.
That makes me happy. I'm now going to engage D for drive. Oh goodness, it's definitely got a bit of. it's got a sensitive throttle as well. So it's got a lot. Wow. Yeah. It can certainly keep up, can't it?
Yeah, you can.
I think I probably just killed a butterfly
left, then enter roundabout.
What makes sense now, I understand, because there's a lot of debate amongst the sort of the very small number of people that I know in England who drive electric cars about whether manufacturers should make a completely brand new vehicle
In 1 kilometre,
and not
keep
convert
left.
an existing one. But actually what you're doing with this, the fact that you're manufacturing it in the same plant on the same production line, kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yes,
from that point of view.
it is amazing as well for the engineer to see this happening. So yes, production online. We have 3 extra workstations for the BEV.
But now this car doesn't have what we call a rapid charge capability, so the very high voltage
No,
DC
we don't.
charger.
The
Yeah.
DC charger, we didn't go for this in the first step. I think we're looking at it for the next gen vehicle.
Right. Ooh. Oh, L. Oh, I didn't L early enough. You see, very slack driving.
it is okay. You see the round things around your
when
battery.
it spins around, that's regen.
That's regen.
Right.
And actually, if you stick on the brake, then you will get
You
a
already
feedback
get
of
it,
how
right.
good you braked.
Right. Right.
Is
Because I
that-
still don't have a butterfly. I don't have one butterfly yet.
Well-
I'm quite depressed now.
No, don't be. If you want, you can switch on the cruise control if you feel like.
Yes.
Ah, I see.
You see on the left
Yeah.
bottom
I love that.
the green circle.
I would assume all these controls are standard as well. for on them.
Carryover,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's got that is lovely. I do think that is such a, from my, I mean, I know I'm biased, but from my point of view, that easy pull away
Yeah.
is such a relief from going, that.
Yeah.
Now when I drive a manual gearbox petrol car, I just go, God, this is actually quite, I forget.
It's work.
I've forgotten how, you got to work.
Yeah, so this is true. It's not very popular to have automatic shift in Germany.
Is it
So
right? Is it
everyone
not?
is like,
Right.
no, I take control myself.
I need control. Yeah. Oh, that's the same in the UK. There's a lot of guys that say that.
But people that drive a lot and that drive a lot in cities and stop. They
You
say,
soon go.
you know,
It's
I
actually quite
don't need
nice.
this.
Yeah. But I mean, the technology of that information
Turn left,
being
then
fed to the
turn right.
driver is such a delicate thing, isn't it? Because it is important, it is useful, but it is also
Yeah.
I should be looking there. You know,
Yeah.
that's-
You did the comparison between kilometers and cost for energy or for
Yes.
fuel, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's energy. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
There's this equivalent, and the equation in the heads of the people is always liters that I have to, you know, how much is a liter of
Yeah.
gas
Yes.
or a gallon or whatever, you know, and it is very unusual that we tell them, oh, you have to put in 20 kilowatt hours to go this and this far, and they
Yeah.
go, what?
Yes, makes it doesn't.
It
It's very hard to
doesn't-
understand.
It's not there. It's not
Yeah.
common, and it takes a while to accustom,
Yeah.
and people that can do the math and can adjust to this difference, you can.
Okay, I can go now.
They get the numbers right, but
Yeah.
but if you look, you pass a petrol station and you just check the prices and you
Yes.
scan them, and you don't. There is no math behind it.
No, I've had, thankfully, very intelligent, clever people who are good at mathematics, which I'm not, which is why I'm not an engineer. You know, the kilowatt hours of energy contained in liquid fuels,
Yeah.
in fossil fuels, is
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, it's
It
an
is.
enormous amount.
It
It
is.
is.
It
It's a
is.
staggering amount.
I'm actually coming from. I have been in the development of fuel cell vehicles.
Right.
So I ran with fuel cell vehicles as well, and we had hydrogen.
Yeah.
So hydrogen is a gas. You cannot. Well, you can compress it. You can put like state of the art is something like 700 bar, 350 to 700 bar, which
Yeah.
is enormous.
Yes,
Which
immense
is a
pressure.
huge
isn't it?
tank, and the volume that we have is just tremendous.
Yeah.
Because a liquid fuel is basically the best source that
Yeah.
you can get. It is really,
Very energy dense.
really, yeah, exactly. The 1
Yeah.
liter contains like 4 kilojoule something.
Yeah.
I forgot the exact number, but the volume you would have to put it in, or hydrogen, or you know, LPG, CNG. You name it. You cannot compare it.
Turn right,
wish I
then
could-
turn left.
I could run my electric car on petrol. Because
Yeah.
it would be amazing, you know, if you could use the same amount of energy as you get from the battery in the electric
Yeah.
motor, but from petrol, you would do.
Yeah,
You would
yeah.
be doing 300 or 400 miles to the gallon without any trouble at all, you know.
Yeah.
But changing petrol into electricity apparently is quite complicated.
This is the thing, you know. It does not revert. This is where chemistry kind of, you know, goofs you up.
Yeah.
You have noticed no one really looks at us.
No, it's just a car, isn't it? Yes. No, nobody's staring and pointing and going. But now, tell me about hydrogen fuel cells, because there's always a very heated debate in the very small
Yeah.
world of the electric
Heated
vehicle.
like Hindenburg Challenger.
Yeah, well, yes, but I mean, it's all, you know, I drove the Honda Clarity
Yeah.
about 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and it is a really beautiful car to drive. I mean, as a
Yeah.
car, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what made it go along.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a very nicely made car, but you know, not for sale. I think quite staggeringly expensive to produce.
On lease in
Yes, you can lease it in California. Yeah, but is your feeling that in time they will become an affordable?
Well, you know that it's a range question. If
Right.
you want to have mid-range and long-range clean or emission-free transportation, you sooner or later have to use a system that will yield you more energy.
Right.
And we can do 400 kilometers on one tank of hydrogen with a fuel cell vehicle.
Right.
Basically, it's all in electric vehicles, all electric. It has a battery to hybridize to benefit from regen braking
Right.
and stuff like this,
Yeah.
to do the startup, to do system maintenance and so on.
Do you see the cost of sort of individual fuel cells reducing? I mean, for a car, the actual
there
fuel cell rather
is,
than the tank.
There is definitely also like electro vehicles. Electric vehicles had his second chance now, or
Yeah.
their third chance right now.
Keep right.
We were all the auto industry was in the 80s, was in electro mobility, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was.
Was trying to develop.
And then we said, no,
Yeah.
fuel cells.
Yeah.
And everyone was doing fuel cells.
Right.
Everyone was doing fuel cells. Now we're kind of like, we're not getting there as fast as we could get, and it's not the cost is not really that far down as we anticipated. Now it's all batteries again.
Yes,
Now
right.
look at this. The public education changed a lot in the last years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been doing events with fuel cell cars since over 10 years now.
Right.
And people were like, oh my god, what is this? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Your fuel cell? Is
Yeah.
that running on nuke?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we're
Will
like,
it
"No,
explode?
it's not really."
I
Yeah,
think
will
so.
it explode? The
Yeah.
thing was, it is actually quite shocking how everyone is combining hydrogen and the Hindenburg.
Yes.
So it's all dangerous. We're all gonna die. And go through this again with lithium-ion batteries.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, a petrol tank is a tank full of extremely explosive, highly inflammable, hot-burning liquid. You know,
Exactly.
that from experience, many people have lost their lives because of petrol fires, and we're used to it, and that's entirely down. Well, we're used to that. That's normal.
We say from the auto industry, if we had to homologate a vehicle,
It wouldn't be allowed. Yeah.
if you drink it, it is dangerous.
Yeah.
You die.
If you breathe the fumes too much, all those things.
The fuses, the foams, everything that is too much. This is
This is the one here.
Arriving at destination on right.
And we've still got 93 kilometers range left,
Yeah.
which actually that's not bad, is it?
We can actually do the test. Like we shut it off and we'll switch it off now.
And
There
you
you
see on the
go.
white
I
side,
got a butterfly. I got 2. Oh, well, no, wait a minute.
7, you will get 7.
Oh,
4. Look at that.
5,
oh, look at that.
6, 1. And now the 7th.
That's beautiful. That is so nice. That is aesthetically extremely pleasing. Because some other manufacturers have trees, which are a little bit too old school digital.
Leaves, right?
Right.
I want to show you now where we have full view. This one is the energy coach. I will
Right.
call it the drive coach.
Right.
So you see how your acceleration, braking and cruising is.
Right.
If you accelerate very hard, the blue bar will go to the left and
Will go shorter.
change the color into yellow.
Right. So actually, I've done quite well.
Yes. And
As you can see on the butterflies.
it's reacting really fast.
Right.
So, and you can see how if you use recuperation braking and if you would use you cruise,
Right.
they're really good in the traffic. It's really good to drive in the
To use that, yeah, to get the most.
Yes.
Because it can seem to a macho man who likes a very powerful car, butterflies, is
They
definitely
don't
a
have
challenge
butterflies.
to their masculinity.
They have the brake gauge there.
There we,
They have the other gauge there.
how hard
I
they've
know.
accelerated,
They
how
go,
fast they go.
no,
But
those butterflies,
those
no.
butterflies are beautiful. I mean, they're very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah,
and I think a man who's confident in his masculinity
Yes.
is not threatened by that. Is quite happy with this.